iniquity. Oh, come on, help me bless the name. Oh, my soul. I will. Bless the name of Jesus. Oh, my soul. Bless the name of the Lord. Come on, he's wonderful. He's my counselor. Anybody know him to be the Almighty God? He's the God who is all these and removes all my iniquity. Oh, that's the name of Jesus. Oh, my soul. That's the name. We sing. Bless the name. Oh, my soul. That's the name of the Lord. Come on. He's wonderful. He's my counselor. He's the Almighty God. Lift it up. Oh, he's the God who is, all and removes all my iniquity. Oh, bless the name. Oh, my soul. Bless the name of the Lord. Bless the name. Oh, my soul. Hallelujah. Come on, he's wonderful. He's the Almighty God. Oh, yeah. He's the God who is, all disease and removes all my iniquity. Bless the name of Jesus. Come on, help me. Oh, my soul. Bless the name of the Lord. Bless the name. Oh, my soul. Bless the name. Bless the name of the Lord.
I want to say that I finally realized I'm only human, and I know it may sound strange, but there's been a change. Now my life is rearranged. I am a new man, yeah. Yeah, I want to testify, oh, that I finally realized, oh no, that I'm only human. I know it may sound just a little strange. There has been a change. Praise. I am a new man. But in this life, every day, things mean our own ways go my way, and I can't make it work, and I don't understand, but I know God can. Yes, if you are bound and need to be free, if you are hurting can, God can, God can, God can, God can. Whatever you need him to do, God can, yeah. Yes, yes, he can. He can. Oh, God can. Oh, yes, God can. He can save you. God can. He can heal you. I know he can. He can free you from your heartaches, from your struggle. I know God can. God can. If you trust him, if you believe, God is able. God is able. God is able. He can do
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Good afternoon, Middle Georgia. It's time for the Middle Georgia Spotlight with your host, Macon, Georgia's former mayor, C. Jack Ellis. Tune in to engage in discussions of the issues of today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Let's go into the studio with former Mayor C. Jack Ellis.
Well, hello, friends. This is not Mayor C. Jack Ellis, but this is Pastor Lisa M. Watson. And yes, we're here on Middle Georgia Spotlight, sitting in for our Honorable Mayor C. Jack Ellis, who's away in Africa.
Yes.
During this month of July, it's been our honor and our privilege to sit in and host the Middle Georgia Spotlight for our Mayor C. Jack Ellis. We hope that God is continuing to keep him in his safe travels and his work there on the shores of Africa. Dr. Butler is here again with us as we co-host.
Greetings.
Glad to have Doc back with us as we do it one more Wednesday. And we want you all that are listening in out there to the Glory WDDO, this historic radio station in Middle Georgia, known as the Glory WDDO 980 AM and 107.9 FM. So glad to have you there listening to us today. We know you've just got through a great show with Ask Elaine, and we know your ears are peaked for information, and we're so glad to have you there listening. And listen, we want you to call in today. The call-in number is 478-250-1444. And we would love for you to call in and share your thoughts on today and your issues, initiatives, ideas. We want to get you engaged with us. If you're listening on the live on Facebook, we want to see you chat with us and send us some comments as you're viewing there live on Instagram, YouTube, and want to ask you to hit share. And let's bring some more people in and get the information out. It's all about getting the word out, Dr. Butler.
Yes, it is.
And spotlighting the great things that are going on in Macon and Middle Georgia.
Oh, yes, we can come together and chat and chew over some subjects and topics that's going to make our community and our people much better.
Right. And we're so happy for this station. So happy for the owners and these two young men who God had placed here and their staff, Apostle Vertiz Zero and the Bishop of High Praise, Bishop Don Scott. They're in the house today, greeting the sister preachers.
Yes.
We're so happy to be here again to share. And again, want to thank all of you for being there. I already see some of you coming online. Our good friend, Sister Rhonda Bird, is already online. We're asking you to continue to hit share, and let's bring some more people in to share with us today. as we chop it up. And it's a lot going on in Middle Georgia. We got our commissioner who just left the studios, and it's always an honor to hear our voice, see our voice, Commissioner Elaine Huckabee, who we love and we appreciate so much for her dedicated, devoted service to us and to our community. And it's our prayer that God will always continue to keep her, cover her, strengthen her. The more she and her husband, what a blessing we are to have, how blessed we are to have that duo of our senator from District 26, my senator, I call him the Honorable David Lucas, and to have Commissioner Elaine Lucas to serve us all these years. So we want to acknowledge our commissioner for being online there with us and still on the run, doing the work that she's known for doing.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that they all did in the commission, even on last night. That's part of our discussion for today. So you're out there. Now, we know some of you all on Facebook have been sharing about how you are all feel about the way that some of the funding is being distributed in Macon, the Macon Rescue Funds that came in, I believe, because of COVID relief from the federal government. And a lot of you all have been on Facebook already talking about that, and we want to chop that up a little bit today. Certainly, we want to talk about this COVID-19 variant and how the numbers are rising around us. Yes. And what we need to do to get vaccinated, to get safe. And then I want to talk about what we all need to be doing as we continue to get re-engaged in the community, in groups and gatherings. Want to talk about that a little bit. And we also want to acknowledge, before we get too deep in the show, that we are sponsored all month long by Scott's Pharmacy, Dr. Butler.
Scott's Health Mart Pharmacy, 635 Pinona
635 Pinona Avenue. Want you to go by there and do business with these kind people who have paid the cost for us to be on all month long on the Middle Georgia Spotlight. They're our sponsor.
Yes.
Somebody said, got to pay the bills.
Got to pay the bills.
And we do thank them for helping our Honorable Mayor C. Jack Ellis to continue to bring this Middle Georgia Spotlight radio show to you, thereby informing the community, engaging the community, educating the community, equipping us, empowering us. We thank them for their help. The Scott's Pharmacy, you can call and register, get your free vaccines right there for COVID-19. Right there. Somebody said right there.
Right there. And that number is 478.
All right.
742.
All right.
3098.
One more time, Dr. Butler, that number.
478-742-3098. And also then, that motto is, we take the time to get to know you.
All right. And also want to just mention that we know the show just before us, Ask Elaine, had the health department on, had Dr. Smith on.
Smith, yes.
And you can call in there and get that vaccine. Get your children, ages 12 and up, can get the vaccine. It is free. Somebody said free. So we want to encourage you. We know that people of color have been dying from COVID-19 more than any other ethnicity. And we want to deal with that. As Ms. Info says, it's a family issue we need to deal with. We need to talk about what we need to do to keep ourselves safe. And remember, if you don't remember anything else we said, the virus is killing people. The vaccine is not.
It's not.
The virus is killing people. The virus is killing people, but the vaccine is not. So if you buying the okie-doke about a chip in the vaccine, well, the chip ain't killed nobody, but the virus is.
Yes.
So let's get the vaccine. Commissioner Lucas says she just left patronizing Scott Pharmacy. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what we got to do. We got to help those who help us to help ourselves.
That's what you call walking it out.
Yeah, that's called practicing what you preach.
Yes.
So we thank you so much for being there. I want to invite you, if you're listening out there, Radio Land. We understand from Chief Apostle that the numbers are good. Those of you who are listening, not only those of you who are viewing us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but the numbers are good of the listenership out there on the radio, on the airways. So we thank you for listening. We know you're there. We know you're listening. And want to encourage those of you who can, you're able to call in. We know you cannot always attend the meeting in person. We know you cannot always call in person. So we're so grateful for social media that allows us these avenues that we can chat it up on Facebook. We thank God for these avenues where we can call in 478-250-1444. So Dr. Butler, you're going to give us a topic of discussion to start us off today.
I didn't want to start off at the top, but I will.
Well, we're kind of away from the top. We're kind of away from the top.
I will. As we know that we are inundated with knowledge everywhere and anywhere. Mm-hmm. We can get knowledge. But when you look back at our ancestors, we find out that our ancestors had more wisdom.
Okay.
Than the just generation now, than knowledge. They had more mother wit, and it seemed that they got done more with less.
Wow.
And today I put together some things that they used, some one-liners.
Okay.
Some tidbits.
Okay.
That they taught us. They didn't have a whole lot of time to sit and just teach us, but as they passed by, they gave us some one-liners that I want to share today. And as I give them out, I'm going to ask that if you would interject.
All right.
Your input on them, and those out there in media land that hears my voice, if you can think of some tidbits, words of wisdom.
All right, old adages, I hear you.
Old adages is what you want to call it. Words of wisdom. Excellent. Says the first thing that my mother has always taught us, and she had 8 kids. She said, don't take no wooden nickels.
A wooden nickel, okay.
Be careful how you take wooden nickels. And the second thing she said was, a bird in the hand.
Wow.
Is better than 2
in the bushes.
Yes. Take care of what you have at hand, what you have near.
Yeah, my late mother, Jacqueline Watson Solomon, said, you count what's in your hand and not the 1,000 you think are in the bushes.
In the bushes.
Make sure you count what's in your hand.
And this is the one that I've used over the years. It's a poor rabbit.
Don't have a one.
That has only one hole.
Yeah.
You get ran up and caught up in that hole and can't get out.
Need options.
You need some options.
Yeah, yes. Keep some options going.
And this number 4 says, a dog that brings a bone will carry a bone also.
Absolutely true.
And they taught us that, and we use these things in order to stay on the straight and narrow. Number 5, you've got too many irons in the fire. When you're trying to do and not getting anything
too
done.
Many things become unfocused.
Yes.
Distracted. Too scattered.
Yeah. Yes. Number 6 says, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine.
Mind your own business first. Take care of your own stuff first. Yes. All right. Well, we thank Dr. Butler for these words of wisdom. I know y'all hear her out there. I know some of y'all got something to say about that. I know Mama them. I know Mama them because I had some Mama them at Zion that definitely taught us those wise sayings. So if you're out there, you're listening, listen, we want you to call in and give us your word. There we go. There they come. Hello, caller. You're on there. Hello, caller. I can hear you now.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Oh, you got to come up a little bit. I think that sounds like Sister Cersei.
It certainly is. I'm at work.
Yes. You got to come up a little bit more for us. I got you turned up, but we still can hardly hear you.
Okay, let me turn my phone up. That might be. Is that better?
You're still down low. Well, come on with it. I think.
Okay. I was calling to say that my mom used to always say, you dig one ditch, you better dig another one.
You better dig.
Oh, yeah, you dig one ditch, you better dig two. The trap you set just might be.
Yes.
For you. That's
yes,
what I'm for sure.
I'm listening. I'm at work still, but I'm listening.
Well, we thank you for being there so much. And do hit share and let's get the word out to everybody to get these vaccines. We want to save life.
Oh, yes. And can I say something? One more thing.
Go ahead.
I want our Black young pregnant women to understand something. If you are pregnant, please be aware that we are the number one people that do die from preeclampsia. So we need to make sure that our blood pressure's in check, that we take care of ourselves in our neonatal department, our prenatal department, and everything. Because once we don't, then that's when everything else kicks in, especially now with COVID-19 being so potent right now. So we need to make sure we get that vaccine and do what we need to do as Black
Amen.
women.
Amen. We'll let Dr. Butler definitely say something to that. Thank you so much for that input and that encouragement.
You're welcome. Y'all be blessed.
You too now.
Thanks for
I
calling.
know you
Bye-bye.
being a biological mother want to hammer in on that, Dr. Butler.
Well, she said it all. Take care of yourself. When you become pregnant, you are not only trying to live and make it for yourself, but you've got another life or lives, because you could have more than one. God help us. So you are now,
Dr. Butler, you know my mom was a twin. Now, talking about more than one life. My mom was a twin. On my mom's side, I am the oldest. Yeah, on my mom's side, my maternal side, I'm the oldest child. I'm of three girls. Of my mom, three girls. And my mom was a twin. So my other two sisters had children biologically, but I did not.
Wow.
Okay, so I would always joke them, no one else in the family ever had twins since my mom. So I said, if I got pregnant, I'd be the one that would end up with the twins. And Dr. Butler, I will also kid them and say that all of the other kids in the family are good looking. I'd be the one get the twins and the monkeys.
Don't say that. Don't claim that.
They said don't claim.
But I also want to interject too. Not only taking care of yourself, pregnant women health wise, but also representing motherhood.
Right.
I see so many pregnant young girls out there, stomach uncovered. I mean,
motherhood, womanhood. That's a way to cover yourself and carry yourself during that time.
There is a way.
And you know, we have a culture now that celebrates. You could see it even in social media that celebrates pregnancy in a different way than we have in past generations.
Yes.
They have it more, as they would say, more out there. They're more out there with it. You'll see more pictures of more nudity with it. Expressing, showing the baby bump, as they say, and celebrating birth that way. But we do believe that we should still teach.
There's a time and a place.
A certain covering of motherhood, womanhood, and as she's saying, a certain way that a expectant mother should see about her body, care for herself and her unborn at all times,
and cover herself.
And even after the delivery of the baby, my mom, them were they were sticklers for what that mother was to do even after the baby was first born. I remember distinctly those moms couldn't go anywhere for a whole month. They stayed sheltered, and kept covered, kept those babies covered from. They would say they too new to be exposed to so many germs and things. So it's so much consideration we really need to give to taking care. And I think they talked about that in the previous segment on Ask Elaine about what are we doing to take care of our bodies, and not just our bodies, but even mental health. Health is a big issue. We a lot of times live in a society and a culture now that we are focused on wealth, but I think we certainly need to be not just so much focused on being wealthy, but being healthy.
Yes.
Because what good is wealth if you're not healthy?
And health is wealth. Yeah. And we've got a lot of young people that are going through a lot of things that a lot of us know not of.
Right.
And their mental state is damaged. And we do need to look in and help those young people.
Right. I think Sister Search is saying that, quite a few of them are saying that even just basic things that that enhance our health, like just cleanliness, washing of hands, especially during this pandemic. We've seen that with hand sanitizers, with the disinfectant, the Lysol, wipes and things. Just basic general,
just getting back to
basic cleanliness.
What you were taught at home in school.
First steps in health.
Yes.
That's the first steps in good health.
Yes, it is.
Basic cleanliness. And you see, I tell the young folk, you know that Dr. Butler in our church and in our ministry, in our community, when we are out, I tell them all the time, when being nasty becomes cool, I don't want to be cool. When being raggedy becomes cool, count me out of that.
But Black folks has never, ever, that I know of, other than when they were in bondage and working in the fields. When they came out of the fields, they dressed up.
Well, it's one thing, this new culture of wanting to have that rugged, rough look. That's one thing. But to be ragged and to be nasty, that's not cool. Somebody said that just ain't cool. I think there's a T-shirt they're wearing around here at the Glory that says being saved is the new cool.
It's the new cool.
That's the new cool. But I also think being clean.
Being clean is the old cool.
It's the old cool that still needs to be. Amen. Yes. That still needs to be the new cool as well. So, yes, in order to have good health, you need to have good hygiene. And definitely to do what she said about making sure about their blood pressure, things like that. Yes. We know that's one of the, just from research and what I've heard from all of my family members who have born babies biologically, I know the blood pressure and eating that diet is very important when a woman is expectant.
Yes, it is.
That diet becomes very important. Her movement, it becomes very important. I know you may want to speak to that. How she carries herself, positions she places herself in. I remember one of my cousins that was born in South Macon. Her mom fell, and the umbilical cord was wrapped around her, and they thought that her mom would lose her. And from that day to even now, I am very cautious around pregnant women and helping them to stay safe as they move about. So just general things like that we want to be very careful about. But also when it comes to overall health, she definitely want to get that prenatal care.
Got to have that. Yes.
Prenatal care and not wait. A lot of women sometimes in hiding the pregnancy, sometimes they don't get that necessary prenatal care that they need.
And they don't realize.
And doctors, I heard a doctor ask one of my nieces, who you thought was going to deliver this baby? When you waited till you was almost 7 months to seek out a doctor to help you. Say, who you thought was going to deliver this baby? So they need to, they need to get that care early so that the doctor is aware of that pregnancy and how it's progressing. You
got to have that.
Now, Dr. Bull, I can't say more about that pregnancy than you can, because you are a mother of 3 biological, 1 daughter, 2 sons, right?
Yes. But my children, not kids, are so old that I've almost forgotten.
You've forgotten about it. Okay. All right. They tell me it's a process, though, that of birthing that you never forget. They say you forget the pain and the travail once the beautiful baby is born. You forget about all the struggle and pain of the process of birthing a baby. But we want to say to all of and that what a great honor it is to be able to bring forth life. And that is why I often talk about that brings us to talking about violence and the unnecessary taking of such precious life. I say it all the time. Life itself, if a life makes it through the womb into this world, what a precious gift to the world. And for us just to see lives snuffed out over foolishness, unnecessary violence, and death.
And then who are we to say who live and who die?
Who gave us that right?
We're sitting in the place of God.
Well, we're trying to sit in the place of God. Yeah. So we want to again say, as we talk about the prevention of all of this death, unnecessary death, whether it be to COVID-19 or whether it be to violence in the street. And we saw here recently the mayor new initiative, MVP, Maker's Violence Prevention, and we are part of that. We partner with the city and county for that, and we salute our mayor for that initiative. I think it's a great initiative. The partnership made with the DA's office, the sheriff department, as well as the coroner, to bring, and all of the community partners who have partnered with the mayor and the city in that initiative. And I think one thing that Mayor Lester Miller said that is true: time for talking is over.
Yes, it is.
Time for talking is over. We got to do something. Too many of our folks are dying in the street, and there are a lot of young people dying in the street, but they're not little kids that are committing these murders. And they're not little kids who are committing a lot of these violent crimes. I think the sheriff had a bus yesterday, 10 people arrested. If you look at the ages of those people, I keep encouraging us to look at the ages. Mm-hmm. These ages 30, range from 27, 35, up to 40. So these are not teenagers who are committing these violent crimes, selling these drugs in our community. These are not little teenagers. These are not all little teenagers. You know, we got some work to do, especially people of color, especially here in our city, to combat violence and crime. And it's just not our teenagers who are doing this. My mom could say some of these are some rusty old folks who know better. And they are destroying our communities. They are destroying our neighborhoods. And we got to take back. We got to take back our neighborhoods. We got to take back our streets. And certainly we need those in authority to do their part. But we, as parents in these homes with these kids, we got to do our parts.
We've got to stop turning our heads to our neighbors' kids, and we've got to get the love.
Yeah, pastors, churches, we got to do our part. Everybody got a part and a role to play. The school, principals, teachers, everybody got a part to play if we want to have healthy communities.
Yes.
And it seems like that's a word that God is just hammering on today. Healthy. We want healthy communities. We want healthy moms and dads. We want healthy children. We want healthy churches. Mm-hmm. And the only way we're going to get it, we got to start producing some healthy people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that's even mentally. And I know, Dr. Butler, you're ministering to a young lady right now at the Brookdale Center. Been working to help to minister to people there that have those issues. Because everybody that's homeless is not just homeless. Some of these people have been displaced because of mental health.
Yes. And she's one
and
of
a lot of people in the penal system with the sheriff. They're not there so much because of crimes, but a lot of it is mental. And they're getting taken off the streets and put in prison when that's not where they need to be. So I'm glad to see a lot of the initiatives, the monies, the funds that the mayor and the commission is spreading around to these different agencies that are helping our people. And if we have issues, I think we ought to bring those issues to the forefront, be a voice, and make your concerns known so that to the powers that be, so that a lot of this funding that has come in, I think Commissioner Lucas says $77 million. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money. Amen. That's a lot of money. Yeah. And we want to make sure it get in those places where it needs to get to continue to help our people. Amen.
Amen. And it's not no time to sit down now and be quiet.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
You got to speak up.
Yeah. So we want to deal with our health issues. Certainly at the top of that's going to be this pandemic that we have not gotten through, and our kids are on the way back to the classroom, and we want them safe. So we're encouraging parents. We can't tell you what to do, and we're not telling you what to do, but we are, with everything we got, encouraging you to take the vaccine. We've had it. We've had our shot. Please take the shot. Save life. We know that the vaccine saves life. We know that the virus is killing. We keep talking about herd immunity. We can't get there when less than 30% of people of color in this county have had the vaccine. Need 70%. Need 7 out of every 10. We don't even have 3. We don't have 30%. So it's dangerous out here. COVID is not gone. Mm-mm. And the cases that are rising among those who have not had the shot. The cases are rising among those who have not been vaccinated. That's where the numbers are rising. Let's be clear.
Yes.
The people who are getting it now are the people who have not been vaccinated. That by itself should be motivation for you to get the shot. Protect yourself.
And what we know and what we have before us, no one should be dying from this virus.
All right, we've got science has put the information out there. The government agencies have put the information out there.
And
Community
the vaccines.
The vaccines have gotten out there. They're free. They're available. Scott's Pharmacy, our sponsor. Again, you can call, register, get the vaccine free. Health Department, call, register, get the vaccine free.
Yes.
Get it for your children, 12 and up. Let's protect them. And when they're going back to school, they need to wear those masks. They're going to need to wear those masks because everybody's not vaccinated. And that danger of COVID is still there. So we have been working with a group. We want to give a shout out to Miss MacArthur, Miss Dolores Harmon, Dr. Wanda West, Women United, Murders Habersham, all of them that are working to get the word out to us to get vaccinated and to save lives here in our community. Women United, we salute them for helping to get the word out. Yes. I think her name is Dr. Patricia Jackson from the Nobson, helping to get the word out, get the correct information out about this virus, and letting us know that it is serious. It's serious in our community. All right. So we want to talk about that. We want to talk about violence. We want to talk about this money that the commission is spreading out. Administration, city making is spreading out to these different agencies. You're there. You're listening to us, 478-250-1444. I've been watching you all, listening to some of you all on social media. I know you've made your concerns known about how you feel about the things that are going on in our city when it comes to violence, when it comes to COVID-19, when it comes to the funding of our new administration, when it comes to blight, when it comes to these different resource centers and these different organizations that are being delved out the finances and the funding. So you're out there, you're listening, call in, let's share with the community this information you have, your insight, your initiatives, your strategies, that your input that you think could help our community to move forward. Again, the call-in number is 478-250-1444. And listen, while we're talking about community, certainly we want to give a shout out to Judge Verda Colvin, who was recently appointed to the Georgia Supreme Court.
Yes.
What an honor for somebody from right here in Macon.
Right in Macon. Yes,
what an honor.
She does us proud.
She does us proud. We want to shout her out. Great accomplishment. We just want to congratulate her on that appointment. She was appointed by Governor Kemp, and certainly she is well deserving of it. She's one of our MLK drum majors for the EMA. Yes, and that we don't expect nothing but greatness from her. And that's all she ever delivers. And so we want to salute her, congratulate her on her appointment to the Georgia Supreme Court. If you're out there, you want to call in and congratulate her as well, feel free to do so, 478-250-1444. Dr. Bull, you got another a topic for us you wanted to?
That was my only topic at the time.
Words of wisdom?
The words of wisdom.
All right. Well, we thank God for Dr. Butler giving us words of wisdom. Those of you who have come online with us, we want to thank you again. Commissioner Lucas, we see you there. Cynthia Sursa, we see you there. I think we saw Rhonda Bird there. I want to encourage you all to continue to hit like and share for those that will come on later and view this broadcast via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So
Shakita
please.
Hall is there.
Yeah. Evangelist now. She was elevated to Evangelist Shakita Hall. And certainly, congratulate her on that. And also Shakita Hall Ministries. And she's been vacationing. She's my friend on Facebook. She's been all over everywhere. She and her nephew, they're celebrating and vacationing and eating up everything and making us envy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, they've been traveling. We're gonna get some in eventually. Dr. Bull and I gonna get some in. We've been watching all of you all traveling and vacationing and staycationing is what we've been doing. Staycationing, y'all been vacationing. But we see what you're doing, and certainly we want to say to Evangelist Hall, the late her pastor, her pastor Williams. Loretta Williams would be very proud of the work that you're continuing to do. And that's what we should do. And when Dr. Butler and I said we're going to talk about that a little bit today, about mentorship. And we're grateful for the mentorship of people like Pastor Loretta Williams, who went before us.
Awesome.
And yes, a powerful preacher woman she was, and a great legacy she did leave, even in people like you, Evangelist Hall. We thank God for her work. We were talking about that, and we talk about mentorship and how important it is for all of us as leaders. If you're going to be a leader, you should still find someone who you can look up to. Because good leaders, they listen. Good leaders lead, but they also listen. Good leaders lead, but they also listen. Good leaders are good listeners. Good leaders look up. They find someone who they can look up to, be mentored by. No matter how great a leader you are, you need a leader.
Yes.
All right. And we got a lot of people out here who want to be number one, and they want to be boss hog, and they want to lead, but they don't have a leader. So if you don't have a leader and you want to be a leader, that's kind of that can become a problem. Because everybody needs to be submitted to somebody.
Wind up in a dead end.
Right. You need leadership. And good leaders listen, but good leaders also are teachable. They look up to someone. Good leaders also, Dr. Butler, they love.
Yes.
Good leaders, they love. And a lot of leaders will say they want to lead God's people, but they don't like people. You can't lead people if you don't like people.
No.
To be a good leader, especially for God, you need to love people.
And the Bible also tells us that anything that is done without faith or without love is not pleasing in God's sight.
My.
So you got to have that love.
God is love. And I see Sister Bird is saying good leaders are also good followers.
Yes.
And that is so true. Good followers make great leaders. But I've heard one older preacher here in Macon say, once God calls you to lead, you can't lead from the rear.
Right.
You can no longer stay in the place of follower once you're a leader. Once you're a leader, God calls you up front. You can't lead from the back. Got quiet, didn't it? Church get real quiet when I say that, but you cannot lead from the rear. If you're a leader, God has called you out. He calls you, as they say, front row. And you become, sometimes leaders become easy targets. Everybody don't love the leader. But if God calls you to lead, he'll cover you.
Yes, he will.
But we want to talk about leaders and mentorship. We want to talk a little bit about that, because if you're a good leader out here, then you should be mentoring bringing someone along behind you. Someone along behind you should be, you don't want to die and leave no legacy. What are you leaving behind? Is it all, you a great leader? Is it all going to die with you? Who are you passing it on to? So we want to talk about that. Yeah, as followers of Christ, we're all called to be followers of Christ. We're all called to be ministers for Christ. But everybody will not. I love to say everybody won't be the chiefs. Everybody can't be chief. Got to have some Indians. Got to have some followers and some leaders. You need that mixture. Amen. And you know, we live in a culture where everybody wants to lead, but everybody's not called to lead. Everybody's not called to lead. Some people are called, though, to mentor, to be a good model for someone else, a good example for someone else.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about, mentorship. And this week we had the privilege of the last few weeks, rather, partnering with Miss June O'Neill and the Mentorship Project. And we want to give them a shout out for the effort that they make all year long to mentor a child, to be there, to help bring someone else along, to help lead someone else. And I think Brother CMD Style has a new shirt that says, I can't help nobody else, but I can't help myself.
That's it right there.
So a lot of us got to get ourselves together so we can lead. So someone else, there's an old saying that says, follow me as I follow Christ. Come follow me. We used to sing that song, come follow me. Come follow me. And some of us know where we're headed. Don't nobody need to follow us. You get what I'm saying? So we're talking about leaders. Leaders listen. Leaders look up. Leaders love. Leaders.
Yes. And they continuously learn.
There it is. I knew y'all were going to pick up that other L. Leaders are learners. Lifelong learners. Never stop learning. Never stop being open to learning. And even though you're leading, my home church pastor said, Dr. Glover, Walter Glover said all the time, I don't know everything, but I hope God let me know how to call those who know when I need to know. Who to call. We need to know sometimes that we don't know everything, and we don't have all the data on everything. But there's somebody else who has the information you need. You need to know how to seek it out. Seek out mentors. Seek out people who are experts in a field that maybe you're lacking in, or more knowledgeable. That you were talking about knowledge.
Yes.
I heard Reverend Smith the other day encouraging on one of his live church services. He was encouraging, as they were celebrating their church anniversary at Macedonia, he was encouraging the younger generation to pick up the legacy, to pick up the mantle of people who have laid the foundation, like the late E.S. Evans, Pastor E.S. Evans, to pick up the mantle in Bibb County of men like Rancifer, to pick up the mantle of people like J.A. Holston, or to even pick up the mantle and run with it like he and Walter Glover them have done for these 53 years my pastor been ministering in Macon, Miller, Georgia. Who's going to continue those legacies? Or who are they mentoring? And who's listening? And I heard Reverend Smith say, as he was encouraging the younger generation, he hoped that somebody would rise up and be passionate about getting out here and being a voice for our rights in this area, social justice, for our rights when it came to voting, for our rights when it comes to violence, for our rights when it comes to the plight of our communities and funding. Who's going to take up that fight that they did?
Well, Pastor Watson, one thing I would like to say is that there are many calls that's in the Bible, and everybody need to know their calling.
Right.
They need to know their talent, their abilities.
Right.
And if everybody, their gifting, that's the word right there. And if everybody would work their own gifting, then we will reach everyone. You know, no one will be left out. But so oftentimes we find people feeling like that, well, the spotlight is not on me. I'm not shining. They don't let me shine. Well, it's not about the shine or the shining. It's about reaching and touching people. And as you were saying, bringing people on with you, those that are how can I say, those that need the help.
Right. There's even a saying. To your point, great leaders make leaders.
Yes.
Great leaders create other leaders.
Yes, they do. Yes.
They don't all lead at the same time, but great leaders make more great leaders.
Yes.
They are passing it on. The Bible even tells us that we should teach it to our children from generation to generation. We should be passing it on. So what I'm saying to us, just like Mayor Ellis did, he passed the work on to me. When he went away to Africa, he looked out among his community and found someone that was coming along who had the same heart for the people, for the community, and said, you come and share. And that's what I'm saying. Mentorship.
Yes.
We got to see more of that among our people, more mentorship. People who are taking those alongside them and literally showing them the way. Showing them the way. And we don't see enough of that in our community. And in our community, we have a spirit where we love to call us 478-250-1444. Maybe you have an opinion that differs from mine. Maybe you want to add to what I'm saying. But in our communities, what we see a lot of is old school versus new school, young versus old. Why does it have to be that way? Why do we feel that it's got to be either done by the young or done by the old? Why it can't be done by both? Why can't we take the wisdom of our elders who've done it, who have the experience, and put it with the strength of our young. Why we can't see it from the perspective of the word of God? Well, he says he called the old because they know the way. And he called the young because they are what? Strong. And when you can put the knowledge, as you said, the wisdom and experience and knowledge with the strength, we can accomplish much more. That's why I just said, right. And that's why I was saying to these young men that just left the studio, where there's unity, there is strength. When we can bring our older generation with our younger generation, there will be strength.
Yes.
There will be strength. But what we allow the enemy to do is keep us divided. Nobody can tell us anything. And a lot of that is what we're seeing with our younger generation that's killing themselves in the street. There's no respect. There's no honor. There can be no, they're not teachable. They're not being taught. They don't want to listen. They won't listen. And some of us won't bother to talk. We won't bother to teach.
And that's the devil's strategy.
And that's the strategy of the enemy to keep us to divide. Exactly. Yes, that's the whole point, Dr. Butler, that I want to get around to. Why aren't we mentoring? And why aren't our children and the younger generation teachable and receiving open? Where has that breach come?
Well, speaking from an elderly seat, I would say to the older people that the young people, there are a lot of young people that does have ears to hear. But when we approach them, we have got to do it with respect.
Leaders have to love.
And we have to approach these young people with respect.
There is with love.
With love.
And listening to them. Because there are things that they have learned and they do know.
We have to listen because they are learning things of their generation that we know not of.
Right.
But we have already come across the ditch. But we can teach them how not to fall into it.
So
how
true.
We stayed out of it.
So true.
So as you were saying, as we come together, we would make a stronger and stronger generation in our communities and in this world.
That is so true. And what we see is a lot of times with generations, we see that generational gap, but it does not have to be a gap. We can bridge that gap. And that's one thing that I was so happy to see with these young men that just left the studio, wanting to bridge the gap. They came in respectful of the commissioner who has been serving for 40 years. Here they are, brand new young men coming into the community to work. But they had enough honor and respect for the work and contribution that this woman had made for them for 40 years. And that's what I'm saying about respect and honor.
The young people have got to respect the older head also.
And use that knowledge and wisdom of those older heads. And you don't have to bump your head on the same things that, as you said, they can share with you. So true. So true. So true. So again, we want to say mentorship. We need more people, especially here in our community of color. Take up somebody. Get a child. There's some child in your neighborhood. There's some child in your church.
Plenty.
Dr. Butler said there are plenty of them.
There are plenty that in the Bloomfield area. There are a lot of young boys about 11, 12, 13, and I am begging leaders to please come out. These little boys are riding their bikes everywhere, shirts off in the wintertime. All they need is for someone to say, hey, I see you. You're somebody.
Show some attention,
some love and attention, and we could turn it around. And we see those same young boys
2 or 3 years later, and they're the thugs.
They're the thugs. They're the one laying on the ground.
Because nobody took the time. Nobody would stop, stoop, and serve. Nobody. Isn't that what the Good Samaritan did? He took the time to stop, to stoop, and to serve.
And guess what? Before he could serve, he had to get down.
He had to come down off his high horse
and get down in
and
ditches
mentor
and trenches
and mentor somebody. And I'm saying to us, a lot of what got to happen in our community, even when it comes to this violence, we got to begin to go out here and get our children.
Go get them.
We got to get our children, and we got to begin to put in them these wise sayings, as you just said, these adages, this teaching, this knowledge. We got to begin to put in them what we want to get out of them. If no one is pouring it in, then you can't get it out. Somebody had to pour into us, and God expects us to be pouring into them. Yeah, and we got to give.
And you can't wait until the cameras shows up.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The news media, you've got to do it when nobody else is watching.
Exactly.
You know, the need is out there, and we've got to go and get it.
Again, we want to just stress the need for us to get in our communities to be a catalyst for change. So we can stop losing so many of our generation, so many of our children to these streets, to this violence. If each one reach one, then all will be reached for the cause of Christ. And I like the work that I see this young man Myers doing here in Macon, trying to mentor, and did it just about the whole summer long. And some of us say, well, it wasn't a big group. If you can just reach 5 or 6, you can reach 10 or 12, and they reach 10 or 12. Then many will be reached eventually with that message. So we got to continue to see the power of one reaching another. Each one reach one, and all will be reached.
Jesus left 99 sheep
to go find one. Heaven, the Bible rejoices over one that was lost and that is saved. And the Bible teaches us that he that winneth souls is wise. So you're talking about wisdom. The best way to be wise is to help save somebody, save a life. And there are so many ways to do it. By sharing this kind of information we're doing today on the Glory, WDDO, 980 AM and 107.9. The sharing, as they say, sharing and connecting the community through the gospel. These are ways that we'll save lives. Getting information out, keeping the people informed, keeping the people engaged. Spotlight of Middle Georgia. This is a way to help save life. So we take this ministry, we take this time to share with you seriously. We take this time for you listening to us seriously, and we hope that we say something as we pass this way that'll help you on your way. Again, you can call in. We got about 10 more minutes left. You can call in to 478-250-1444. We've talked today about the COVID-19 vaccine. We've talked today about the pandemic and about needing to protect ourselves and our children and community as we begin to get back out and engage in the community. We've talked about where you can go and get the vaccine for free. At Scott's Pharmacy, they're on Pine on the Avenue. Call, register, and get the vaccine free. Health Department, we talked about that. What else, Dr. Butler? We talked about the violence here in Macon and how we want to see these numbers of unnecessary deaths come down and stop spiking up, but come down. We salute our Sheriff Department on the recent crime, I guess we would say crime solution, because they brought in, and they, with the help of the FBI, we understand there are quite a few more to come of these violent perpetrators in our communities of crime and death and drugs. And so anytime we can get some of that off the street, we make our streets safer. So we salute our Sheriff Department on the work that we see them moving forward to do to clean up our streets when it comes to crime and violence so that we can feel safe in our neighborhoods. We saluted our mayor and commission for the work that they're doing with this new budget, $77 million. Did y'all hear what I said?
That's a lot of money. Do a lot of
talk about a blessing.
Good stuff.
While we got a brand new administration, got brand new funds from the federal government, American Rescue Funds came in here, COVID relief funds came in here, $77 million. And one thing we can say about the commission thus far, they are making sure to spread these funds around. It's being spread around, and we thank God for those commissioners who are there, who we all voted for, and we can hold them accountable because we all voted them in, and we should be holding them accountable for where these funds are going, where they are being allocated and distributed, and we should be keeping up with that. And you can do that. You can go on and watch. If you cannot attend the commission meetings, you can watch it live on Make 'em Be Up TV. On Facebook, you can watch it live. You can watch the meetings and stay informed about where those funds are going. These are your tax dollars. It's your money. Somebody says our money.
It's our money.
So you can see where it's going, see who's getting the aid, the different organizations that's getting the resources, and how you can get out in the community and get the help for yourself and your family members and friends that's needed. It's a lot of money that's been blessed to come through our coffers in Macon, thanks to the American Rescue Fund. So we're grateful to see what God is beginning to do with these funds to address the homelessness, to address mental health in our community, to address blight in our community.
Yes.
All of these issues that they're addressing, we're grateful, but we want to keep our eyes, and they say, and keep our hands on the wheel. This is not a time to go to sleep at the wheel when this kind of money is being spent all around us. Somebody said we need to make sure that some of those funds get in the areas where we know it needs to go.
Are needed, yes.
And we can do that by talking with our commissioners and talking with this administration to continue to see the progress we want. Certainly, we are grateful to see the blighted houses coming down, neighborhoods continue to be cleaned up. And we know there's been a shortage of correctional officers, and we're glad to see the funding that's going to the sheriff department.
Yes.
Glad to see the
Much
additional,
needed.
glad to see additional funding going to the sheriff department, and glad to see the additional funding going for helping with blighted and housing and affordable housing. And we do pray that it will be a process, not like some we've seen in the past where federal monies came in, like during the Mother Day storm of, what was it, 208? When all that FEMA money came in, and it was supposed to be building up affordable housing, and they built up houses that we don't see many of our people living in. They built up a lot of lofts. Can we talk? But we want to see it go into some real affordable housing where we see some people that look like us get the opportunity to live in that housing in our neighborhoods, and to see some of our neighborhoods come back after these torn down, blighted properties come down. Want to see some good properties going back up. So we need to keep our eyes open to all of that that's going on with the new funds that are coming in and being allocated. And certainly I think Madam Commissioner made a good point about when this money is allocated to these type of projects, to be sure that there's also a maintenance piece to make sure that they maintain it, and that what is done, supposed to be being done with it, is actually done. So we want to continue to engage you, to be involved in what's going on in our community, especially as we devil out these $77 million under this administration with our new Mayor Lester Miller. We want to continue to keep our eyes on the ball, and we salute them for a great start. It is our hope and prayer that things will continue to roll out in all of our favor, all of Macon's favor, that all of our neighborhoods, all of our communities will prosper under this administration, and especially with this much money coming into our community, $77 million, we should look better. I said we should look better after spending $77 million.
We should.
We should look better.
And if not, there's a dead cat on the line.
Somebody said something is seriously wrong if we don't look better after spending $77 million. Something is definitely going to be easy to say was seriously wrong.
Yes.
So we want to encourage you to stay engaged, vigilant in civic and community affairs here in Macon, Middle Georgia, especially as regards to these organizations that are getting these funds, these departments that are getting these funds to better our community. This is where we live, and I love Macon, and I want to see Macon do well. And there's no reason why our children can't prosper, and we can't get along better with that kind of money flowing through our coffers.
Well, Pastor Watson, I also want to encourage people that have never sat in on political or commissioners meeting and stuff like that to rise up and get involved. Stop allowing the same people to make decisions, talk for you. rise up.
Right. It's open to the public. You can go in, you can speak, you can sign up and speak at these meetings and be heard. And as I said, if you can't go in person, now thank God for social media. You can view it. You can still view it and stay informed and up to date on what's going on around us. Then you got these shows like Spotlight on Middle Georgia, thanks to Mayor Ellis, and Asky Lane shows, and all these station shows coming on The Glory. You got all of this where you can stay informed, stay engaged, and get out and educate others. So we want to encourage you to do it. Keep your eyes on the ball. Let's be safe out here. Let's save lives out here. We can do it. Again, we want to thank Mayor C. Jack Ellis for allowing Dr. Butler and I to co-host this whole month of July.
Yes.
The Lord willing, we're going to see you right back here next Wednesday at 4:15 to 5:15. And those of you who are watching, we want to encourage you to hit like and share so others can view this later on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much for being there today, and pray that we said some word of wisdom that'll help you on your way.
Don't forget Scott's Health Mart Pharmacy.
Don't forget to go by Scott's Pharmacy. What's that address on Pinona?
635 Pinona Avenue.
Get those free vaccines, free COVID vaccines.
742-3098.
Get your kids ready to go back to school. Let's be safe out here. Call the health department. Get those vaccines. Let's be safe out here. We love you. Until next time, be safe. Go in peace. Be blessed.
Be blessed.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB.